Hi, I'm Noah Van Kampen, and Evan, we're on the air. Let's go. I'm Noah Van Kampen.
I'm Evan Lewis.
And today we're going to go over a bunch of different things, including pigeon racing, Dutch cows, and Chernobyl. First, here's some information on Dutch cows. Turkey has decided to export Dutch cows, as the Dutch and Turks have had some very bad relations lately due to the Syrian refugee crisis. The cows are now being sent back to Holland, as the Turkish officials claim that it is not healthy for their people. That is all I have.
Wow, that was really fascinating. I'm really glad you brought some world news into this class.
Yeah, we used to do it all the time.
Yeah, do you know what's going on in the world?
What?
The Iditarod, the dog sledding racing in Alaska. You know, one thing I wish I would always add to the Iditarod, or something like the Iditarod, is like pigeon racing, but with like dog slides. So you'd have pigeon sled racing.
Evan, I don't know how that would work. Maybe our pigeon racing expert, Liam Gross, would have some ideas.
You know, he might. Let's cue to his video.
You know, I'm not really sure how I got into it, pigeon racing. But I've always been like really interested in it. Like even when I was a little kid, like my parents would need to like stop me from chasing down the pigeons in the neighborhood to try and catch them so I could race them against the other pigeons. It's just something I've always done. And then when I found out that there was an actual sport for it where I could find my own specific pigeon and race it, I was like, well, sign me up. I mean, I've already been doing it with wild pigeons. It can't be much different than that. And I guess I should explain what pigeon racing is. Pigeon racing is where you take a specific breed of pigeon called a racing homer, and you take it to a designated coop from its own coop, and they release all the pigeons at once, and they fly back to their own coop as quickly as they can. Once they get back, the distance that they traveled over the time that they had, they get their pigeon's velocity, and whichever pigeon moved the fastest gets first prize. I've always wanted to have a winning pigeon. It's always been a dream of mine. I have my pigeon Thunder, who I spent about $3,000 on. And he's a champion in the making. We practice every day for those races. I'm currently living with my mom. Buying a $3,000 pigeon definitely put me a little bit in debt, but I'm not worried about it because I know that Thunder and I are going to win this year, and a lot of people put a lot of money on these pigeon races, and so I definitely think that we can be champions and definitely stamp out the competition. You know, and I've always been super interested in pigeons. They've always fascinated me, just their little football-shaped bodies and how graceful they are in the air. And I believe in a past life I was a pigeon. I honestly believe that. And God took me from my pigeon form and put me into a man and said, "You race those pigeons, Liam. You race those pigeons."
Thank you, Liam, for that very important information on pigeon racing, and that is your favorite hobby.
Yeah. What a hectic day, am I right?
Yeah, early releases will do that to you.
Yep. You know, sorry about this hectic news.
Yeah, it's all good, Evan. You were a little late coming in.
Yeah, you know, we normally have 3 people in group, but today it's only 2.
Well, this whole week it's only really been 2.
Yep. Well, I've been told to wrap it up, Noah.
I have 2.
So it's a great day.
To be a Red Hawk.
Pigeon racing. Pigeon.
Pigeon
Great day to
racing
be a
too.
pigeon.
Pigeon racing's good too.